If you're applying for jobs in Sweden, stop making these 5 CV mistakes. They're the reason so many immigrants and internationals don't get interviews. Fix them, and your chances of landing a job here will go way up. In this video, I'll break down these mistakes and show you real examples so you can update your CV right away. If you're new here, I'm Eli, a non-EU immigrant who's been living in Sweden for close to a decade. When I first arrived, I went from unemployed, frustrated, and missing home, to building a career, buying a home, and thriving here. Now I share the lessons I've learned so you can adapt, find work, and thrive in Sweden too. All right, let's jump into mistake number 1, not showing impact. This is something I struggled with myself. Like many people, I used to write my previous work experience as a list of duties, instead of highlighting the results I actually achieved. And that's a big issue because recruiters in Sweden don't just care about what tasks you had. They want to see the difference you made in that role. Let me show you an example. Here's how I once described my role as a marketing and communication specialist, responsible for managing the company's social media accounts on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Wrote blog posts on industry trends to keep the website active and updated. Assisted with planning and executing email campaigns by drafting newsletters, preparing mailing lists, and tracking delivery. Looks fine, right? But here's the problem. It's super generic. It doesn't tell the recruiter whether I was good at it or what results came out of my work. Anyone in that role could have written the same thing. Now compare that to the updated version. Manage the company's LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram accounts, growing the LinkedIn audience by 35% in just 6 months. This boosted brand visibility and engagement in the Nordic market. Created and published blog articles that consistently attracted traffic, helping the company reach over 5,000 monthly organic website visits and positioning the brand as a trusted voice in the industry. Planned, wrote, and optimized email campaigns, leading to an increase in open rates from 20 to 32%, creating more opportunities for sales and customer engagement. See the difference? The first version only mentions what I did. The second version shows what I achieved. It answers 3 questions every recruiter cares about. What did you do? How well did you do it? And the results you achieved. Quick question for you. If you look at your own CV right now, does it really show your impact, or is it just a list of duties? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Mistake number 2. Putting education before work experience. Now, don't get me wrong. You should be absolutely proud of your academic achievements. But here's the truth. In Sweden, recruiters value work experience more. And that doesn't just mean full-time jobs. Internships, volunteering, part-time roles, all of these help them picture how you'll perform on the job. Let me give you an example. Imagine a hiring manager opens your CV. The first thing they see is your university, the courses you took, and your graduation date. If none of that directly relates to the job they're hiring for, guess what happens? They move on to the next application. But now imagine they open your CV and right at the top, they see relevant work experience. Maybe you've worked in a similar role or done an internship in the same field. Suddenly, they can picture you in the role they're trying to fill. That's when they start thinking, this person might be a great fit. So here's the tip. Move your education further down your CV, unless you're a fresh graduate with little or no work experience. In that case, your studies can be the highlight. But for most people, your experience should take the spotlight. Mistake number 3. Adding your photo to your CV. Another big mistake to avoid is putting your picture on your CV. And yes, this could actually be one of the reasons you're not getting called for interviews. Here's why. We're all human, and we all have unconscious biases. A recruiter might see your picture and for no logical reason, be reminded of someone they don't like. Maybe a difficult neighbor, or even an ex from high school. It sounds silly, but in reality, it can influence how your CV is judged. And for immigrants, there's another layer. Research shows that racial and ethnic discrimination does happen during CV screening. The sad truth is, sometimes decisions are made before your skills even get considered. That's why it's best to keep your photo off your CV. Let the recruiter focus on your skills, experience, and education first. If you're shortlisted and invited for an interview, that's when they'll see you. And at that point, it'll be based on the fact that your background truly matches what they're looking for. Mistake number 4, not tailoring your CV for each application. When I first started job hunting in Sweden, I made this mistake all the time. I would apply to 40, sometimes even 50 jobs in a single week, using the exact same CV. Honestly, I thought I was being efficient, but the truth was, I was being lazy. I didn't want to create a new version of my CV for every single role. The results? A flood of rejection emails. And after a while, I started to feel like maybe I wasn't good enough for the Swedish job market. But here's what I eventually learned. I was going about it the wrong way. Instead of chasing quantity, I needed to focus on quality. I stopped sending out 50 generic applications and instead applied only for the jobs I was truly qualified for. Even if that meant just 2 tailored applications in a week, that was okay. And the difference was huge. Suddenly, rejection emails dropped. I started landing interviews. And those interviews eventually led to the job I have today, the one I've been thriving in ever since. And it's not just my experience. Research also shows that tailored CVs significantly increase your chances of getting shortlisted because recruiters can instantly see how your skills match their requirements. So here's my advice. Stop trying to apply to as many jobs as possible. Instead, focus on the ones that match your skills and tailor your CV to suit each one. Trust me, the results are worth it. Mistake number 5, overlooking the small details. Finding a job in Sweden is competitive. You're often up against dozens, maybe even hundreds of applicants for the same role. That's why you can't afford to overlook the small details on your CV. Sometimes it's those little things that can cost you an opportunity. Let me show you what I mean. Take a quick look at this CV. Pause the video for a second. Can you spot the mistake? The text formatting is not the same, and there are spelling mistakes. You might be thinking, come on, does that really matter? The truth is, yes, it does, because first impressions count. Now, perfect formatting won't guarantee you an interview, but sloppy, avoidable errors like this can be a red flag to recruiters. Research shows that attention to detail is one of the top qualities hiring managers look for, and your CV is the very first place they check for it. So whether you're applying to a big corporate company or a small, chill startup here in Sweden, the little things matter. The good news is, these mistakes are easy to fix. You can ask a friend to review your CV with fresh eyes, or simply copy and paste sections into ChatGPT to check for grammar and formatting issues. Sometimes just a quick review makes all the difference between a CV that gets ignored and one that gets noticed. So these are the 5 mistakes you need to avoid on your CV. I know how tough it can be to find a job in Sweden. I've been there. The endless rejections, the frustration, the anxious weight of not knowing when it's finally going to happen. It takes patience, persistence, and being intentional with your applications. It might take some time, but eventually you'll find the right role, just like I did. If you're currently looking for a job in Sweden, I would want to hear from you. How long have you been job hunting, and what has been your biggest challenge? Drop them in the comments section, and I would love to help you address some of your challenges to give you a head start. Let's connect in the comments section. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button so we can keep growing this community of immigrants and internationals supporting each other to thrive in Sweden. Thanks for watching, and remember, I'm rooting for you. See you in the next one.